Hey, what's up, guys? So this is gonna be my second banger of the day. I have been granted a bit more time, so I'm able to make a second video. This story happened only about 3 weeks ago. It was pretty insane. So I was in second period, and I'm in 7th grade right now, so I was in second period, and I was very hungry, and I was in science class, probably one of the most boring classes out of all my classes, because it's science. I mean, I usually like science, but this day I just wasn't feeling it, and I was very hungry, so I decided to sit back and relax and only do the work that I had to finalize to get my stamp. And what a stamp was is where they stamp your planner, which is basically a calendar. And when they stamp your planner, the people who grade you know that you did your work that day, and you'll get a good grade on it. And so usually we only had like one thing to do for our stamp, but there was a bunch of work leading up to it. So I decided to sit back, relax, and just not do the work until I needed to finalize it and do all that stuff. And so I sat back, relaxed, and then lunch came, and I was so hungry. I sat down next to my friends. They're awesome friends, by the way. And yeah, so I sat down by next to my friends, and I started eating my lunch, like a god, because I was hungry AF. So I was like about 3/4 of the way into my lunch, and I was about to raise my hand to go out to recess, because I wasn't hungry anymore and I wanted to go outside and play. And then I hear a big smack, kind of like a punch, and I look in front of me, and there's two kids shoving each other, and one's trying to punch the other kid while the other one's trying to separate from him. And I had no idea how this started, but yeah, so I look over and I see these kids fighting, and I am like, oh my gosh, what is happening right now? And all my friends get up from their lunch table to look over, and then I see one of my teachers. His name is Mr. Terpstra. That's actually not his actual name, but I'm just making up a random name. So, he comes in, and he's running in because he saw the fight happen, and he's running in, and he jumps on the person who's getting punched, or not getting punched, the person who's punching the other kid. And he freaking leapfrogs onto him. He jumps on him and pins him to the ground. And that was pretty insane, and my friends all were like, yo, how did he get dropped? Jeez. That kind of thing. They were reacting to the teacher just straight up tackling this kid to the ground and pinning him on the ground. And I was kind of amused, and but at the same time I felt bad for the kid who was innocent and who was getting punched by the other kid. And the person who was getting punched, he seemed alright, and he was a troublemaker. They were both troublemakers. Basically, in 7th grade, everyone's a troublemaker, except for, you know, the nerds like me and like some of the girls. And so basically everybody is a troublemaker. I don't want to make any stereotypes, but I'm a huge nerd. But yeah, and then I look over and I see Theodore getting escorted. The kid who was punching the other kid who got dropped to the ground by what's his fake name? I think it was Turnip? I don't know. Yeah, so the person who got dropped to the ground was getting escorted by Mr. Turnip. And Mr. Turnip, or the guy who was punching the other kid, was like shaking. He was trying to break free of the arms of Mr. Turnip. And Mr. Turnip seemed to be like mad and talking to him about, you know, stuff. And so I continue eating my lunch, and I'm just about to go out to recess. And I look to my left, and I see two cop cars. They're both pulled up by the school. And the school has this archway, and the archway is like the bus lane. And I see the two cops. They're pulled up on like the middle of the archway, and I see this cop. He's inside the building, and he's in the office, because in the commons, the lunch area, you could see the office is windowed. You could see into the office, and I look to my left, and I see a cop, and I point it out to everybody, and everybody just goes nuts. Like, everybody looks at that cop and is like, oh my gosh, there's a cop at the school because of a fight. And yeah, so it was a fight in the middle of the school, and it was kind of awkward, to be honest. I never saw those two people have any beef, but apparently they did. So yeah, that's the time I first experienced a school fight, other than, like, you know, maybe a little kiddish fight. But I've never experienced a full scale throwing punches kind of fight. And honestly, I was a bit amused, but at the same time, it was like, oh my gosh, like, I was getting punched. Like, that's a big deal. And to have a cop pull up about it is a little over the top, just a little. But they were throwing full punches, and yeah, apparently Mr. Turnip, he is a person who works in the military, so that's why he dropped the kid who was throwing punches like insanely quick. And I also learned that that there was some offensive language that was said, like the N-word, right in Turnip's face by the kid who was getting punched. So yeah, that was a very bad experience. Recently, I've been telling bad experiences, but don't worry, I'll get to the good stories too. But yeah, that's the time I first experienced a fight at school. If you guys enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, share, comment if I should play any other game. I was considering PUBG Mobile. I tried it out while just recording a test video, and it was insanely laggy, so I don't think I'll be able to do that. But overall, this new channel is super fun, and you guys are awesome. Stay awesome. Don't fight in school, don't do drugs, all that, those messages, whatever. Yeah, so, see you guys next time. Bye.